Hi, Madie. It's Poppy again in my office at my new church that I work at. You ready for another story? I've got a great one. It's by one of my favorite writers of children's book. Her name is Margaret Weiss Brown, and she's written a book. You've read one with me before, and we'll read it again, Big Red Barn. And then she has another book that she wrote that we'll read sometime that maybe I'll even put on a recording called The Runaway Bunny. But today's story is one that I read to your mommy and Uncle Mike and Sarah long ago, and it is entitled
Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. In the great green room there was a telephone, and a red balloon, and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were three little bears sitting on chairs, and two little kittens, and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house, and a young mouse, and a comb, and a brush, and a bowl full of mush, and a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush! Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light in the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. And good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. Good night, socks. Good night, little house. Good night, mouse. Good night, comb. And good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering, "Hush." Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere.